Um,
Hmm? And what do you think I should score you now?
I didn't like go into details. I just saw what they did, where they
Oh,
did what
okay, I
I
have
was
one.
able
Okay. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
what I was able to grab was the difference between ID and class.
Okay. What's the difference between ID and class?
Where they said that I be repeated like um, a standard HTML, whereas class can be repeated. So at the end, they also said even though um, in some cases that like with the way internet has evolved and all that you can repeat ID and still not have an issue, but that the standard for HTML is that ID should not be repeated.
Okay. So ID is just like the name. I'm coming. Let me tell you. The next section. Can you hear me? The next section.
I can't hear you well, sir.
Uh,
It's fluctuating.
no, it's not you. I had to pick a call. Somebody called. And so basically, ID like just like your name now, right? You're in a class and your name is Favor, right? Imagine we have another Favor in the class. What do you think will differentiate you between the first you and the other Favor when they actually call? Maybe it should be your surname, right? So now you can be Favor, let's say Musa, another person with uh, Favor, something like that. So, but all of you are Favor. You understand? So an ID is a unique name given to a particular tag. Just ID, one ID can actually, just hold on to one tag. So for classes, you can actually, just as you said, you can actually name more than five uh, tags with the same class. So without wasting much of our time, today, let me show you what we are going to design. I hope you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Thank you very much. So this is what we are going to design. We are just going to design the layout, right? So exactly as this is how we're going to put it. This is what you see on the screen.
Sorry.
What we are going to design, right? So this round stuff is actually going to be where we're going to put the logo.
Yeah, Smith.
And this other stuff here, this where you wrote menu, is the space where we can actually put on the menu. Then we have something here for the sidebar. Then we have here a title. We have an image here. Then we have a description. This is what we're going to do. But first of all, I want you guys to actually understand how layouts are being designed, how to actually go about designing the layouts. If you look at this particular area now, right, it's one container that has another container inside, that has another container inside, and has another container inside. This first container now houses what? The logo container, and the menu container. Let's just see how we can actually represent that in the HTML using our div. Div stands for like division, basically. You can use it to create segments, for the website. So I'm going to create I'm going to create a new file, index.html, right? So basically, I'm using a text editor so that it makes things faster for me. This is VS Code. If you have a system, you can actually download it. But for now, since people don't have, make use of the online compiler or whatever. So basically, there's a shortcut to get my boilerplate. Boilerplate is just like a normal sample code that we get to go in while you want to write HTML and CSS. So basically, this is it. This is a first boilerplate. So I'll just change the title to Village Square, Village Square, Village Square classes, class, right? So basically, what you should be doing is all the code you're supposed to write will be inside the body tag, and this is the body tag here, right? This is the body tag here. I don't know if you guys are actually seen it.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so basically this is the body tag. So all the tags you're going to write is going to be on the body tag. So I will divide my screen. Let me divide it into two so that I will have a live section of the screen, and so that as we are coding, you'll be seeing what we're actually doing. Yeah. So let me know if it is okay by you, like, because me now using my okay. So what I want to do now, as I'm actually writing the HTML syntax, you'll be seeing it on the browser. Understand? That is so that to make the work easy for me. So basically, look at this, please. I said we need just this header section now. Just this part. Let me show you how to represent that in the HTML, right? So on the body, we are going to make use of divs. So I'm just going to type div, then enter. You see, it created the closing, opening, and closing tag for me. Then inside, look at it again. We have just this rectangle. Look at this rectangle. Take easy to represent a div. Let's say we have one div like this. Then inside the div, we are supposed to have another div that's going to hold the image. Then have another div that's going to hold what? The menu. That's how this is. Just understand that. So we have div. Let's name this div and I give it an ID. What's head or header, something like that, right? Then, since it's going to hold two things, the logo and the menu, then we need to create another div, like two divs. Let's just create another div. So, but this div, look at it now. This div is on its own, and this other div it's on its own. So we are going to do the closing, open and close tag of one of the divs. Let's give it an ID logo. Then outside that, we're going to create another one, another div again with an ID. Let's say menu, right? Menu. Are you guys getting what I'm doing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, let me save. If I save now, you guys are not going to notice anything because these are basic divs. There is no text, there is no image, there's no other thing to actually show. So if I actually want to show something, I'm going to impute that between the closing and the opening tag. Let me just say hello, hello class. If I save, you see it has appeared here, right? So this is not actually what I want. So now we're talking about, like, let us just design the header section now, right? Once we design the header section. So to do that, we need to actually go back to our CSS, right? So understand, look at the file structure. I created a folder named CSS. I created a folder named images, right? So everything that I'm going to do that will contain all the images that I'm going to use to design the website will be saved inside of this folder image. All my CSS, Wahala, everything is going to be saved here. So all what I'm going to do is I'll create a file name style.css. That's the style of CSS. So basically, here I have my images. Look at this head, IMG, then logo. Then look at, be very observant, right? But before you can actually, you know, uh, style this particular HTML tag, you need to what? Link the CSS file to the HTML. Okay, how you do that? It's by coming to this head section in between. This is the head, between the closing and the opening tag of the head section, and just put on link. Look at link. So on the link now, you can actually select HTML. Sorry, select style CSS. So link rel style sheet href. Href means the location to the file itself. So here now, look at it. We have a CSS file. So imagine you are in this folder now. We have CSS and images. To actually select any file in this particular folder, you need to enter the file name first, the folder name first. In this case, since we are going to, yes, we want to access the style sheet on this folder named CSS, we need to just say, okay, CSS, then forward slash CSS forward slash, then the name of the file, style.css, which is always here. I don't know if you guys are getting it. Hello.
So I didn't quite get this last part
Okay.
from link CSS to HTML.
Okay. See what for you to actually make use of any CSS file on a HTML page, you need to actually link it, right? So, but there is a way you can actually, there's what we call the external linking. We have the internal and the inline. Get these three parts: external, internal, and inline. Okay, this is an external linking. External means it is outside the page. So you created a different page and you want to actually get it directly, but that's actually the best. We have what we call the internal. Internal means you just write on the style. There's what we call the style tag also. So all these CSS, you can write it here and like affect the page. Also, another one called the inline. Inline means inside this tag now, right? You can just say style, right? Let's say once you use the background image, background color, right? Background color. Let me give it to be black. So look at the page now. It has turned to black already because of what? Inline styling we made. Like the inline styling we did made it like the page to be actually black because that's the body. So we can say red. If you say red now, it will change automatically. So you see that inline styling works also, but that's not what we are going to talk about. That's not what we advise you to do. The best option is actually doing it what externally. We have the internal styling, which is this one, which is this. You just have to write the style tag. Then in between the style tag, call on the tag that you want to actually effect. So in this case, let's say body, right? Let's say background color. Then we say green. Let me write another color. So you see it has changed. Still using what? It's still the same thing, but the most preferred option is the linking of an external style sheet, right? So to do that, I said is to just, it's very simple. just like a tag, you open and close like this. Open, link, then rel, then you say style sheets, style sheets, style sheets, style sheets. Then you say href, href. Then href is the location to the file. So now, in this case, we have a folder. This is where we are. This is the page, index.html, right? I want to access a file inside CSS folder. If it is just on this page, imagine if you have the style page here. Let's assume we have style here, the CSS, right? There's no need for us to put in, because this is in the same folder uh, with the index page. We just say, okay, we just call in the name. But since we want to access the one that is inside this folder, CSS, we just type CSS slash. You can name the folder anything you want to actually, like anything at all. It mustn't be like CSS. You can use a style, anything at all. So that is it. Hope you understand this part. I'm going to delete this one. Did you get the part? Hello?
Yes, continue. We
Okay, thank you very much. So I want us to just go ahead and style this particular page now. So mine we have the first tag with the first div with the tag with the ID header. Then inside we have logo and we have menu, right? So that's what we're going to do now. So to actually mention a tag, to actually make reference to an ID in your HTML, you use what? Hash, right? To make reference to a class, you use a full stop. Are you getting me?
yes, sir.
Okay. So this one now is the one, this first one we use an ID. We use an ID. The second one, let me use a class instead of the ID. Let's say class, right? Right. So then the third one, I'll say class, class, so that I will show you the difference between the class and the. So this one, the ID first. Since it's an ID, we're going to make use of the hash. So if you say hash, you're telling it to select an element with an ID, right? So what's the name of the ID you want to select? Now we are going to say the header, because that's the ID name. So now let's go back and say what header, like this. So after the header, use to open and close braces. So now you have actually selected that element. You have selected the div with that. So now it's actually time for us to make sure to make it visible on the screen for us to see. It's actually visible, but the fact is that it doesn't have width and height. So you can not see the div. But if you actually inspect the elements, you can actually see, look at the body here, you actually see the divs that are there. You see this one, header, look at it. The header now, look at it. This is the header, and we have what logo, and so they are basically visible, but we can't see them because we have not applied like height, width, and color, background color. So now let's just do something very sweet. All we need to do now is to apply width, right? The width, if you are going to apply width starts from this end to the other end. Height now from this up downward, right? So now let's apply the width. The width we want to apply. So we want to apply the width to take, let's say 100% of the screen. No matter how wide the screen is, no matter how small the screen is, you should take 100% of it. So all you need to do is to say 100%, right? I get to me. Are you guys following?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are following, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so the height, let's
Mm.
height. So height, let me just give it as 300, okay, 200 pixels. The screen is measured in pixels. Your screen, okay, phone, I think is in another phone, I guess. I don't know. But the same for the all the same for the screen I'm using, basically is measured in pixels. Even phone screen, I think, is measured in
Hello,
pixels.
sir. Could you be more audible, please? I don't know if it is from my end. I can't even hear them. Maybe.
I'm literally shouting. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's from my end. I have.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I said screens are measured in pixels. So now this particular the height now, I'm telling you to just take 200 pixels. So on a screen that is like, let's say 32 inches or so, I'm using a very small screen laptop. So it will just occupy a small space on those screen. While on smaller screen, it can occupy larger portion of the screen, right? So now for us to see this thing on the div on this particular page, we need to put a background color. So a background color is a background like this, then dash color, right? So let's see, what are we going to give it? Let's give it black so that you can actually see it, so that it will be very visible. Okay, let me see. Do you see what's on the screen? You can see it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, but if you notice, we have like a white edge between between the div and the body. We have some white edge like that. So all we need to do, it's normal, like it's part of the body comes with like if you're actually working on the body tag has some by default, it has like um imagine and the rest, like margin. It has some level of margin assigned to it. So all you need to do is to use asterisks. That means you're saying the body you don't want. Then you say, okay, margin, you just say 0 or 0 pixels, anyone. So if you do that, you see that that's adjusted automatically to fit the screen. Because you won't want to design a website whereby your customers, the header section, some part is actually are giving allowance, which is not supposed to be there. So basically, this is how you actually handle it by using the asterisk and say margin. You just give it 0 pixels. Margin there. So you can say, okay, if it is okay, I don't want to go deeply into my. Let us just solve the puzzle of today, right? So this we now have a perfect what a perfect div fit onto the header section of our website. Now let's check again, right? So now we have another div that's here, which we call the logo. And looking at our design here, it is what round, right? We have the logo here. So how can we actually make that happen? Okay, that's what we're going to find out, right? Very pretty soon. So we have to we remember that the if with the class with the div that's going to handle our that's going to hold our logo has a class name. It's not an ID, it's a class. So now let's go back again. So we want to mention a class. We use a full stop, right? Full stop, then open and close braces. Then you will the full stop, you mention the name, oh, don't forget that. Full stop, the name of the class is logo. Full stop, then you write logo. I get you mean. So now we want to actually, make the logo appear. All we need to do, we're just playing around the width and the height. So the width of this, let me give it, I want it to be a perfect square. Let me give it like 150, right? Pixels. Don't forget to put pixels. So height, let it be the same thing too, 150 pixels. right? So let's see. It is not going to appear on the screen because the screen, the header, the background is black, and we are not actually giving the logo section a color. So let us give it a color, background color. Remember, it's background color now. Background color. Let me just select this Elise blue. So let's save and see. You can see the what is it called? You can see the color of the logo there, right? You can see it. So look at it. We now have a div around this place. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir. But can't you use the percent where you use the pixels for that
Uh,
hundred?
you
That was
have to start calculating so many. You can put 10%, 10, 5% now. You can put 5%. You can put just play around, like you can play with it. But the one why when I use 3%, it's when I'm actually want to take the whole over the screen or divide the screen into two. I can say 50%, you take half of the screen. I can say 10%. But you can actually play around with it. Like for this, I just prefer to use pixels around because I don't want to go and start dividing minus this one and this one pixels so that we actually see the look very fast. So now this now I just want to adjust it so that it will not be at the edge and on top. At least let's balance between at least let there be space between the top and the left side. So that's where we will mention margin, right? Okay, there's one thing with between there's a little bit of confusion if you're using margin and padding. Okay, let me explain something to you. Oh boy, our time is actually running out. Let me explain something to you guys. Like this image now, right? I think let me use this part now. Let me use this part. Okay. So if you are saying margin, margin is the distance between this end and the outside and this side. The distance now between this and this is what we call the margin. But padding is the distance inward like this. Do you guys understand? So if you want to push this thing inward like this via this particular div, you're going to use padding to actually adjust it. If you want to use margin to push this one, that means you're going to mention this particular div, then say margin so that you push it away. So let me just continue. We'll learn as we move, right? So now let me adjust that. I can just say margin. Margin, I want to see the margin left, front, and right. I can just say margin, let it be 10 pixels, right? So as I save, okay, we have a problem right now. Okay, let me use padding, sorry. Okay, no, I can use margin here. Let me use the margin on top this one. Okay, padding. I'm going to use padding here. Let's say 20 pixels. Px, right? So this is better, right? So okay. Let me use 40. Okay, let's make use of this. No, let me use 30. Okay, but you can actually use adding left, adding right, Or if you're saying padding, it should take like the four corners. You're telling me to actually, align everything, the top, left, right, and bottom should be what? given the same gap. But if I say padding, then dash, right, left in my case, let's say 30 pixels. Observe what is happening. You see it? Then if I say padding, top, let's say 30 pixels, 30 pixels, 30 px, and save. You see the difference, right? So you can use that to actually manipulate your way through. So, and for this logo now, you can look at, if you look at this particular design, the logo is round. It's not a square. So for us to actually achieve that, we use what we call the border radius, like this. So the border radius give it all are in pixels. Say let's say 2 or let's say 100 pixels. Let's see. You see it has turned to what? That's turned to the round shape that we actually want. So basically, the next thing we're going to do is to have this other one, the menu. Since it's a class, we're going to mention using what we have, the menu, right? And this. So what we need to do is we need to just create the width. So I'm going to use 100% also because I want it from this end, like from this side to this side, it should occupy all the portion, like to just occupy it. So I'm saying the width should be 100%, or let me give it as 80, sorry. Then the height, it should be the same thing with this guy. The height should be the same thing, which is the height is 200 pixels. So let's have the background color also. Background color should be same as it's blue. So, but notice something here, right? This this the size of which is local and the div that's going to hold our menu, one is on top and one is downward, which is not supposed to be like that. But our design, it's supposed to be by this side, right? So now to handle that, there's what we call display flex. Display flex is an attribute, is a HTML, is a CSS attribute also. So we can just say, but it happens that we are supposed to apply the display flex on this first div, which is holding this one and this one, which is holding the logo and the menu. So now, this is it. That's the header div. So now, all we need to do is to come here and say display. How do you want it to display? To flex the display. So now we have this and this on the same row. Defaultly, the display is in like a column section. But if you say display flex, it will what? Align everything on the same on one row. We just have 3 minutes. I don't know how we're going to achieve this. We just have 3 minutes remaining for the meeting. So we say display flex. So now we can actually play around with this design to actually suit us, right? So now let's the height is too much. I think reduce it to 100. Understand? Or even 80 or 70. So basically we have this and the this thing is let's see it as 60. No. 80. All right. So, and we can actually see that it's at the top, right? So for us, like you can actually adjust it to fit in the bottom. So all we need to do, let's say margin top. Okay, margin top. Let's leave it as, let's say 50 pixels. So you see we have adjusted it. Then we can see margin right, margin dash right. Margin right. Let's give it the okay, margin left, not right. Sorry. Margin left. Because why margin left? Because this place between the logo and the space between the logo and the menu, that's it. From the menu section is at the left hand side. Margin left. Margin left, let's say 20 pixels, right? So we see we have actually adjusted. We just have 1 minute like this. So now we have something. Somebody has left. So we just something like this. Do you actually understand how we got to this level? Hello? Favor? Favor? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I'm here, sir. I'm here, sir.
How about Favor?
I don't know. Let me check if she's. I don't know, but she's still here, sir.
Okay. So basically, this is how to actually get this done. Like you look at it from this particular perspective, you see that we have actually, designed the header section of what we actually, want. This is the logo and this is the menu. So this header section is completely done. Our time for this class, I think the